Today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be speaking about gender and age fluidity. Mainly age fluidity, because it's the only thing that I've really got a problem with. So if you're somebody who really supports age fluidity, you're not going to like this video, but I don't really care, okay? Apparently Demi Lovato came out at some point and said she was gender fluid. The last time I heard anything about it, she says she was non-binary. Fine, right? I'm not here to judge. I don't care about anybody's age, race, sexuality, whatever. It doesn't bother me. I don't even care what religion somebody is, as long as they don't try and push it on you. But there is one thing that I really have got a problem with, and it's age fluidity, and that's what I'm going to really be talking about in this video. Like, I'm a woman, right? I was born a woman, and when some people are talking about women who identify as women and are born women, they call them cis women. And on TikTok, there's a lot of people who are offended by this, and they're like, I'm not a cis woman, I'm just a woman, right? They've obviously got some sort of problem with this. I don't care, right? If somebody says to me, are you a cis woman? I'll just be like, aye. Do you know what I mean? I've got other things in my life to worry about. I don't actually care. I've never sat and thought, oh, I feel like I'm a man, or I feel like I should be a man, or whatever, right? So it's not something that I've ever had to think about, and it doesn't affect me when this happens to other people. Like, I feel bad for people who feel like they're trapped in the wrong body, right? I don't understand it, but it's not for me to understand. It makes no difference to me whatsoever if a person is gay, pansexual, asexual, transsexual, whatever. People are the same, right? As long as they're not cunts, I don't actually care. And I don't think I know any non-binary people in real life. But I had been watching Big Brother USA, and there was somebody on there who was non-binary, and they were born a woman, but now they were non-binary, and I was like, alright, this is like a good time to learn about this, right? Because I don't have this in my real life, and it's good to learn things. So what was a wee bit confusing to me is that they identified as non-binary. So you would call them or they. But during this time, they ended up in the Women's Alliance, right? And in the Women's Alliance, they were like, girl power and all that, girl power. And the non-binary person was also like, girl power. And I thought, obviously, they're in this group of women, right? And they're identifying as non-binary, and they're just shouting girl power. And they're also shouting it. So, like, it was a bit confusing. But then at the same time, if a man had been in that alliance and they were shouting girl power and the man was shouting it, I probably wouldn't be that confused about it, because I'd be like, right, well, he's in a mostly women's alliance. Do you know what I mean? It can be quite confusing, particularly when you don't spend time with non-binary people. But, you know, I'm willing to learn new things. When I was younger and I worked in clubs and in the casino and places like that, I would talk to a lot of transgender people, or even people who were cross-dressers, or even just drag queens, right? Men and women drag queens. And that was totally fine, right? It didn't make any difference to me. But then recently, in recent years, I would say, when people started coming out and saying they're gender fluid, and I'm like, no, I don't accept that. I don't accept that at all, right? It doesn't outrage me. I just think to myself, I don't really understand it. It's like, if you're non-binary and you don't identify with male or female, fine, right? But why fluid? Like, what is the cause of that? Like, obviously, if you read articles and stuff, people will say there's a problem with, like, say, a man who identifies as a woman, and then when they commit a crime, they're asking to get put into a women's jail, and then in the women's jail, they can end up raping a woman or whatever, right? So it obviously causes some problems like that. I'm not really going to get too much into that, but I'm just saying, like, when you're gender fluid, right, and you commit a crime and you're going to jail, you can't say, oh, I'll go into the men's jail the day and the women's jail tomorrow. That's not how it works, right? Like, I worked in a shop and we had changing rooms, so it was like male there, female there. And if somebody was coming in, the changing rooms had doors on them. So if a woman, somebody that I thought was a woman, came in and went to the men's side, I wouldn't say, oh no, you need to go to the women's side, right? Because it wasn't my job to determine somebody's pronouns. Just go, right? It's got a door on it, doesn't really matter. But when somebody's gender fluid, I feel like it just, I don't know, like I don't like to agree with these articles that say men who cross-dress or say that they identify as women can go into a women's bathroom so that they can assault women, right? That I don't buy into that. But when it comes to gender fluidity, I feel like there's something there. Something that's not right. And I don't really want to say this because it sounds really bad, right? But I feel like when you come out and say you're gender fluid, it's got to the point now where it's like, right, you're just looking for attention. You're just saying something to look for attention. I had actually read an article about somebody who was born a woman and they got an operation to become a man. They were fully a man, like took all the treatments and everything, had a beard and all that. And then they had been a man for a few years and they decided they'd made the mistake and they wanted to transition back to a woman. And I thought, right, that is a shame, right? Because that person who's gone through so much, like put all their stress on their body and all that, and now they've decided actually that they're a woman. So I don't know if that's some sort of like gender fluidity. I don't understand it. Like, I don't know if it's like you spend years feeling that you should be a man and then all of a sudden you feel like you should be a woman, or if it's like an hourly thing, or if it's like a day-to-day thing, or today I feel like a woman, tomorrow I feel like a man. Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't outrage me, it's just I don't get it, and I think it's an attention-seeking thing. But when it comes to age fluidity, no, absolutely not. I'm 38, right? I've got my pig on my bed. I've got my Kingdom Hearts cushion here. I've got my Kingdom Hearts Keyblades on my wall. Up there I've got all my pop figures. I've got my Yoda toy over there. I've got my pig toys. I've got toys, right, that you can play with. I've not only got Loungefly bags, right, with like Little Mermaid and all that, because they're actually for adults, but I've actually got kids bags that I've bought for TK Maxx. I buy trainers from the kids section. I've got holographic light up Skechers. I've got actually 2 pairs of light up Skechers, right, I'm very proud of that fact. Got them for the kids section. When I was skinnier, when I was a size 10, I used to shop in Tammy Girl and buy clothes for teenagers. I'm too big for that now, right? I need to go to Vegas to get like proper like kids tops. But I watch cartoons, like I like things that kids like. If anybody in this earth was going to be age fluid, it would be me. Anybody who knows me in real life will tell you that. People are always saying, when are you going to act your age? When are you going to stop watching cartoons? When are you going to stop dressing like a Wayne? And it's like, never. Never, because that's what I like, right? I wake up in the morning and I don't think, oh my God, I'm 38, nearly 39, nearly 40. I better stop wearing Care Bear t-shirts. I better stop wearing holographic light up Skechers. I never think that. And also, I don't think of myself as being 38. If I had to actually sit down and think about it, I could literally convince myself that I was still a child or a teenager or whatever if I wanted. But the harsh reality is I'm not a child. Do you know what I mean? I've had to grow up, I have to go to work, I have to pay tax, I have to do all this adult crap that I have to do. I don't want to do it, but I have to. And people who are saying that they're age fluid, it's not right. Like, I've never met an age fluid person, but for what I've been reading, and you can't believe everything that you read, but like, say there's somebody my age, right, who's 38 and they're saying, oh, I feel like an 18-year-old, I feel young at heart, right, great, I feel young at heart as well. I feel 20, I feel 21, like whatever. Okay, fine. But when you get to the point where you've got a 50-year-old man who is saying, oh, do you know what, I'm actually not a 50-year-old man, I'm a 12-year-old girl. So I'm going to spend my time with 12-year-old girls and boys, and it's like, you're not age fluid, you're a pedo. That's literally the only reason for age fluidity. Nobody can change my mind, right? It's, sometimes I'll say paedophiles, like see when they do investigations into their brain and stuff, they say that it's a mental health problem and it's to do with like excess fluid in the brain. And I do believe that some paedophiles have got mental health problems that's caused by excess fluid in the brain. But I don't for 1 second think that that's the case for all of them. Anybody who's coming out and saying, I'm a 12-year-old girl and I'm going to hang about with 12-year-old girls, or I'm going to kiss 12-year-old girls, or I'm going to sleep over with 6-year-old boys because I'm a 6-year-old boy. No. We need to put a stop to this, right? We need to put a stop to it. There's no way. Like, the last thing I read, and I don't know if this is true, but people who are paedophiles, basically, are trying to get into, like, the group of, like, LGBTQ plus and say that it's, like, it's a sexuality and it's natural to fancy kids, and it's like, no. People, gay people, throughout the decades, right, have fought for equality. There's a lot of young people now who obviously weren't there when that happened, and they forget that, and some of the things that they do, you're like, right, you're now flaunting this in people's faces to the point where you're making all these people who have fought for your equality look bad, right? But it's like, to actually turn around and say an adult having sex with a child or fancying a child is a sexuality, and trying to then be grouped in with the LGBTQ plus community is a disgrace. Throughout the decades, a lot of people have had a problem with gays, particularly gay men, and said, oh, that they're all pedos, right? Like, if you're a gay man, you're a pedo. You like young boys, because a lot of older gay men have liked younger gay men. So a lot of people automatically think that gay men are pedos, right? So putting these people in the LGBTQ plus community is not good. It's not going to be good for anybody. And the people who are age fluid, supposedly, they would make matters a million times worse. There's no way that it's a thing. I don't care what MD tells me. I don't care if you think I'm being discriminatory or whatever. I don't care, right? They're actual fucking crackpots. And when you read comments online and people are saying, oh, everybody's snowflakes and all that, like, this generation's crazy. This isn't a new thing, right? All of these things have been coming about for a long time. It's not Gen Z that's created these things, right? They seem to get the blame for everything. But age fluidity, pedo, I don't care. Like, literally, I would love to apply to go in Big Brother, right? And on other Big Brothers in other countries, you get a lot of people that are like transgender or non-binary or whatever. And if I was in that house, 100% I'm accepting of you. I will accept you until you're a cunt to me, and then you're getting told to fuck off. But if I was in that house and I was talking to somebody, or even if I was at the pub, right? If I was at the pub and I was talking to somebody and we had a lot in common, and I was like, oh, where'd you work? Blah, blah, blah. And they said, oh, I'm gender fluid. I'd be like, alright, kind of think in my head, right, I don't really agree with that, but I'd ask some questions about it, get to know, like, educate myself a wee bit about it. But see, as soon as they said, oh, I'm gender fluid and age fluid, I'd be like that, oh, you're a pedo. You're a pedo then. But I would ask the question. I would say, well, what does that actually mean to you? What age range are you going for? Are you going for like 18 to 50? Are you going for like 60, 50? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the reason here? Are you trying to hang about with young boys and girls? I don't think anything could convince me that somebody who's age fluid is not a paedophile. If there's anybody out there actually watching this video who's age fluid, let me know in the comments, what does that mean? Like, is it from day to day, or is it from month to month? Like, what does it actually mean? And if there's anybody who's age fluid, let me know. Let me know in the comments, right? What's the deal? What is the deal? Like, are you trying to interfere with kids? Or what? I don't get it. It's very clear that the world is tumbling into insanity. Now, I try and be the most accepting person that I possibly can be. I'm not racist, sexist, anything, right? I will accept people no matter what until they treat me like shit, and then it's like, right, no, I don't think so. Like, I don't even care what religion a person is, as long as they don't come at me with their crap. Now, I live in Coatbridge, right? And in this day and age, people still argue about religion. And it's not even just religion they argue about. They actually argue about football and religion as if it's the same thing. Like, if you support Celtic, you're a Catholic. If you support Rangers, you're a Protestant. you're an orange this and orange that, and it's like, do you know what? Stop, right, stop. We're not living in the 80s anymore. Like, why do we need to continue on this cycle of fucking stupidity, right? We've still got the orange walk and all the other walks that they have. I don't even know the names of them, right? It's just ridiculous. And when people come at you and say, oh, if a guy's wearing a skirt or if somebody's gay, they're going to go to hell, and it's like, fuck off, right? That's when I can't be bothered with you. You pray to whatever you want, you believe in whatever God you want, but leave other people's fashion choices out of it and their sexuality out of it. And I fully accept everybody until they cross a line. But for me, somebody who even says I'm age fluid, they've already crossed the line. To me, they're already a pedo. It's just not, it's not acceptable. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you know somebody who's age fluid? I'll tell you, you don't know anybody who's age fluid because it's not a thing. Anyway, I wasn't really going to make this video, right, because it makes me, I feel as if it makes me look as if I'm discriminating against a group of people. But to me, it's so obvious, it's so clear that the only people who come out and say that they're age fluid are pedos, because I do not feel like a 38-year-old, I don't act like a 38-year-old, I don't dress like a 38-year-old. I can't mentally accept that I'm 38, but my birth certificate says I'm. Do you know what I mean? It's like people who identify as animals. If you want to identify as a cat, or if you feel like you're a cat, I'm willing to accept you. But you shouldn't be able to work, you shouldn't be able to have a national insurance number, you shouldn't be able to do all these things that humans can do if you're a cat. You should literally just do cat things and that's it. I don't even discriminate against them. Like, I really try and accept everybody. I don't really accept people who marry inanimate objects, because this is going to sound ridiculous, right? But there was a guy who married a cow, and I thought to myself, that cow didn't give that man consent. That cow can't speak to say, I want to marry him. And he actually had sex with the cow, right? That's not right. That's a mental health problem. There was a guy who married his fence, his house fence. And again, right, that is an inanimate object and it doesn't feel or whatever, but it also can't give consent. These are the things that I draw the line at. You can't marry your dog. You can't have sex with an animal. You can't marry a lamppost, because these things can't give consent. And I do think that these people are absolute crackpots, right? That is discriminating against people, but you have to draw a line somewhere, do you know what I mean? You can't just accept every fucking fruitcake that crawls out the woodwork. Anyway, let me know in the comments, like, where you draw the line. I know there's a lot of people out there who will draw the line at literally just somebody being gay, or just a man wearing a skirt, or somebody being a different religion, or somebody supporting a different football team, or somebody that's a different skin colour, right? They people are crackpots, right? Racist people, absolute crackpots. But where do you draw the line? Like, I really try and accept everybody, but once it gets to that point, it's like, no, too far, too far. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. I've just literally filmed like 3 rant videos in a row and I'm exhausted. I need to go for a sleep. Thanks for watching. Bye.